What's up, VVL family? Welcome to VVL Podcast. And if this is your first time tuning in, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And of course, remember to also hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever we go live or have a new post. Welcome. Let's hold a reasoning. I think they need to get rid of that chairman from the Jamaica Police Federation, and here's why. By now, you must have heard about the promising young JCF officer who died in a motor vehicle accident, and the female passenger was admitted in critical condition. Constable Donald Carr became the latest member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force to be killed in a car crash along a roadway managed by the Toll Authority in Jamaica. Now, let me say this first. Rest in peace to the young man and condolences to his family, colleagues, and close friends. Now, the focus shifted from the death of the young man, and a blinding political spotlight is now on the government of Jamaica and the boss of the Police Federation. Corporal Rowan James was elected as chairman of the Police Federation back in 2020. Ever since his appointment, he has been a thorn in the side of the Andrew Holness-led administration. From speaking up against unpaid wages to defending crooked cops who are involved in illegal activities, the chairman lambasted the government for not paying the members of the JCF enough so that they can avoid getting involved in doing illegal activities. So because of this, they are tempted to dabble in corruption and all manner of evil. From that time, when that news came out, I was calling for the chairman to be sacked. And I smelled some form of political stench coming from the argument of the chairman. I personally think that this chairman needs to go. Now, I have been saying this for a few weeks now. The Jamaica Police Federation is a union representing police officers in Jamaica from the ranks of constable through to inspector. And I get it. As a chairman, you're supposed to defend the people who you serve. You're supposed to defend the people who put you in place to defend them. And it is not and shouldn't be a case of you being affiliated with any political party. But this chairman seemed to be missing that. The chairman of the Jamaica Police Federation, Corporal Rowan James, is taking the government and the operator of Jamaica North-South Highway Company to task over the death of the police constable. It is reported that the vehicle operated by Constable Carr got out of control, overturned, and landed in a ditch. It was also reported that the victims had to wait for some time before help could be rendered because police personnel encountered difficulties as the toll operator refused to give them access to get to the scene without paying the toll fees. There's also a report that officers had to lift the toll barrier to transport the victims to the hospital. Now, this part, if true, I don't agree with. That should have never happened because there was an obvious emergency and the need to access the highway. But according to the toll authority, it is up to the booth attendant to use his or her discretion in giving access to any, whether it's a police or a civilian, other than those that are legislatively allowed to use the road without paying. The Federation chairman argued that cops, who, in his view, have a greater remit for law enforcement, are being encumbered by bureaucratic red tape. Hey, I see a red flag in that. Funny enough, the red tape was actually applied by a PNP government. Yes, I went there. Because the motive of the chairman's argument is laced. It seems as if it's laced with political bias. So why not speak on the obvious? Yeah, I went there. It's all political. James took issue that members of the Jamaica Defence Force have unfettered access to the toll road while the police must pay. Again, who came up with that rule? In my opinion, that makes no sense because one branch of the security forces can access without paying and the other faces restraints. So in his defense, yeah, I get it. But don't make this about politics. Describing the current arrangement as absurd, James is charging that the government must accept responsibility in this matter. This is where I draw the line now. This is where I said, come on, Mr. James. We smell it, we see it, it's obvious. You're kicking a political football and you're hoping to score. But not everybody is a fan of your side. But whose fault is it? Why blame the Andrew Holness-led government? I mean, I hope they'll fix the issue because it's an issue that needs to be fixed. But this is not a blame game situation. But these affiliates of a particular party like to point fingers. Because when we Jamaicans say the government, did you know that we are not talking about the elected body of people that should represent the citizens of Jamaica, but we're talking about JLP and the PNP? And that's the bigger issue when it relates to governance in Jamaica. We don't see the elected members as just elected members to represent and to serve the people. We see them as members of a political party. Now let's talk about the rule. Whoever made that rule didn't take these types of situations into consideration, obviously. Whereas a JCF member could be in need of immediate assistance because of an emergency. Okay, so because it's a member of the JCF, all rules must suddenly change, or it becomes the responsibility of the government because a JCF member dies? So what if it was a civilian? The rule wouldn't be as absurd. There wouldn't be an immediate need for change. Mr. Chairman, I'm asking you. I'm not trying to sound insensitive, but you see, why they say Jackass complains a lot about how the world no level? We get it, Mr. James. Yes, we get it. You're the head of an organization that defends the members of the JCF. But please focus on your job and stop playing the game of political football. Focus on your job and stop trying to score cheap political points for a defunct PNP. There is no documentation of you on record exploring, even imploring, your members who you defend to think safety first when operating a motor vehicle on or off duty. It wasn't the government's fault this accident happened. It wasn't because of a faulty roadway. It wasn't the fault of the toll operator. Focus on the issue at hand, Mr. Chairman. Please. Anyhow, catch an extended version of VVL podcast this and every Saturday, 7 p.m. Jamaica, 8 p.m. Eastern, Facebook and YouTube, and also on Hype TV in Jamaica and across the Caribbean. I'm Andrew Val. Thanks for listening. Welcome to VAL'S Views Live podcast. Real news, real talk, real views. Join us weekly for social, political, and religious commentaries, analytically dissecting viral news and more. When they mix it, we'll fix it. Unorthodox and unfiltered views. This is VAL'S Views Live, the podcast edition. Saturdays, 7 p.m. Watch it live in Jamaica on Hype TV and across the Caribbean. Stream it live on Facebook, YouTube. Don't miss it.